Lives packed on top of a moving freight train known as the Beast. Migrants seeking a new beginning over the Mexican border. These, mostly from Venezuela, men, women and children, families clambering aboard where they can outside the Mexican town of Arapuato. They're part of a new wave of thousands amid a surge in illegal migration to the US. Sleeping on top of cardboard boxes here, these people had been waiting days next to tracks for an opportunity. Your VA says, despite the risk we take, I would say we have no alternatives until we reach our destination. Mayala's here too, with her partner and 6 children. She says, my goal is to be able to get to the United States and enter legally with my family, to have the opportunity to work, for my children to study, learn languages and new things.
Immigrants illegally coming to this country is going to lead into the mark of the beast for the American citizens. And I'll explain to you why. Just remember who built the wall, and I've always said this from the beginning, that wall was never to keep them out, it was to keep us in. In order to fix a crisis, you have to create a crisis. Trump said on his first day back, he's going to have the largest deportation in the history of America. Now that the legal immigrants are all throughout the country, how are you going to be able to monitor and make sure that they're out? This is where they are going to implement a system that is going to watch Americans and watch the illegals. First, it will start off by marking all the illegals, but the sole purpose was always designed to mark the Americans. They would never be able to convince or force us to do that. But again, if you create a crisis and you use it against the illegals and the system is up and running, eventually it will be pushed on the American citizens. And it could start off being used with people with DUIs, sex offenders, etc. And from there, it will continue to grow in this country, and they will use it where they see fit. And eventually, it will be used throughout the United States. And that is exactly how they will force the mark on the American citizens and get away with it without question. How can a man lose an election that was rigged and come back and win an election? He lost his re-election. They had to sucker you in. He had to set up all his stuff prior, his to plant the seed in your head, and then they put an imbecile in the office that would make anybody look good. The whole United States is for Trump. He will win because it's rigged, and when he comes in, the change is not only in America, it's going to be throughout the world. It's going to bring about the New World Order, the Great Reset, the beast system. You mark my words, this technology, when he becomes president, will be used on the legals. And then it will be used on the American citizens.
The banner says Exodus from poverty. This column of humanity heading north from the countries of Central and South America and well beyond too. North to the United States because they think the opportunity, the hope is there.
We are looking to improve ourselves, to have a better quality of life, because in our country the situation is getting worse and worse, and we are only looking for an opportunity. What we are looking for is to work. We are not criminals. We are not bad people.
There is nothing new about all this. The number of people crossing illegally into America this past year has been staggering. 10,000 a day last week, and nearly 250,000 encountered by the US border officials in November. It has been a record-breaking year, and objectively, it seems clear that the US government has lost any...
Oh, yeah, why is that? Construction is booming everywhere. The industry can't keep up with the demands. The way the world is now, all of civilization is just burning down. People don't want to go outside. They want to fix up their homes. They want to turn them into fortresses. Yeah, people are moving out of the city, I guess. Funny how that's happening. It's the fourth turning. Big pardon? Historical events. They don't just happen. They're set into motion by great men, generational personae. And each one of these unleashes a turning that lasts about 20 years, more or less. And every 4 turnings is a seculum, which is not the length of a human life. And at the end of each, there's a crisis. In this country, the crisis is always war. Revolution, 80 years later, Civil War. 80 years later, World War II. And that's coming up on 80 years now, so. Something's about to happen.
Thanks for